Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to break down exactly how you can turn your everyday college spending habits into some serious long-term wealth. Look, if you're a student right now or really just starting out in life, the idea of building a solid financial foundation, it probably feels incredibly overwhelming. You might be sitting there thinking you need a massive salary or a huge pile of cash just to get started. Well, today, we're walking through a step-by-step tutorial based on some really fascinating source material that proves otherwise. It's this brilliant concept called Despair Change Wealth Protocol, and it's literally going to change how you look at the digital coins sitting in your bank account after every single purchase you make.
So ask yourself, can your leftover chai and Zomato spare change really make you a crorepati? Seriously, do you believe the leftover coins from your daily conveniences, those random few rupees left over when you grab a quick snack between classes or order food late at night, could quietly build a massive fortune? I know, it totally sounds like clickbait, right? It sounds way too good to be true. But stick with me, because by the end of this explainer, I'm going to show you the exact mathematical formula that proves this is entirely possible. And the best part, it all boils down to one tiny simple shift in your daily habits.
All right, let's dive right into step 1, the roundup. To really wrap your head around this concept, you have to understand the core philosophy. Every single transaction you make actually contains hidden savings. You just have to know how to spot them. Instead of seeing a purchase as money that's entirely gone, you need to start viewing every swipe of your card or every UPI scan as a micro-opportunity to pay yourself first. We call this the roundup hack. It's a super simple, actionable rule. Basically, you mathematically push your purchase price up to the nearest clean number, like the nearest 10 or 100 rupees, and you save the difference. That is it. It's a clever little psychological trick you play on yourself. When you buy something, you just pretend it costs slightly more than it actually did, and you take that artificial price difference and instantly move it into a separate saving spot. Let's look at exactly how this plays out in the real world with stuff you're already buying every day.
Take the absolute classic college staple, a cup of chai for 25 rupees. If we apply the roundup hack here, we mentally price that chai at 30 rupees. You hand the vendor your 25, but you take that 5 rupee difference and stash it away. Now, I know what you're thinking, it's just 5 rupees. Honestly, you'd probably lose that in the bottom of your backpack without giving it a second thought. But by intentionally capturing it, you instantly create a hidden 5 rupees in savings from a totally routine purchase.
Let's scale this up and apply the exact same logic to a larger purchase. Say you and your friends are pulling a late-night study session and you place a Zomato order. The bill comes out to 472 rupees. Applying our rule, you just round that up to a clean 500. By doing this, you instantly pocket 28 rupees. Think about it. You are already prepared to spend around 500 bucks on the meal anyway, so the psychological friction of setting aside that 28 rupees is essentially zero. It just feels like spare change, but as we're about to see, this spare change is incredibly powerful. This brings us to step 2, calculate the savings. Now we're going to transition into the math, just to prove how these microscopic, almost invisible daily savings compound into a highly meaningful sum over time. Because right now you might be thinking, wow, great, I saved 28 rupees, big deal. But hey, wealth isn't about single, massive transactions. It's about repeated, automated behaviors over the long haul. So the absolutely crucial point here is this average number, 20 rupees. Based on the data from our source material, executing this simple roundup task across a mix of small and medium purchases saves you about 20 rupees per transaction. Sure, sometimes it's 5 rupees for a chai, sometimes it's 28 for food delivery, or maybe 45 on a bigger textbook purchase. But it averages out to a solid 20 rupees every single time you execute the hack.
Okay, keep that 20 rupee average in mind, and let's pair it with this next figure. 30 to 40. This is the number of transactions the average person casually makes every single month. Between grabbing coffees, buying snacks, hopping on public transit, ordering food, or paying for your monthly subscriptions, a college student easily hits 30 to 40 digital transactions in a typical 30-day window.
So when we multiply these two reality-based numbers together, boom, you are effortlessly saving between 600 to 800 rupees a month. Just think about that for a second. You haven't taken on a grueling part-time job, you haven't stopped drinking chai, you definitely haven't deleted your food delivery apps, you haven't changed your college lifestyle whatsoever. You've literally just captured the financial friction of your normal daily life to create up to 800 rupees in hidden monthly savings.
Let's zoom out even further. Over the course of a year, that 800 rupees a month translates to a pretty surprising total, 9,600 rupees. You can stash away nearly 10,000 rupees a year purely from your spare change. And if you're a college student, 10,000 rupees is a very real, very tangible amount of money. But, and this is key, we are not going to just let that sit under a mattress or languish in a zero-interest checking account. No way.
That leads us perfectly into step 3, the SIP secret.
Because look, saving the money, that is only half the battle. Simply holding on to cash doesn't make you a crow patati. Introducing the magic multiplier of investing is what creates real generational wealth. We have to put those rounded up coins to work. So here is the specific actionable strategy to actually pull that off. You take that 9,600 rupees you've saved over the year and you invest it in a systematic investment plan, or SIP. This automatically puts your money into diversified mutual funds that aim for a historical market average return of 12%. And then you just leave it there for 30 years. If you're 20 years old in college right now, this means letting this background process run until you hit 50. You don't have to become some Wall Street stock market genius, you just have to consistently feed this automated system.
By letting this compound for 30 years, those tiny annual contributions grow into an absolutely massive total portfolio value. The sheer magic of compound interest means that by the end of this period, those tiny daily rounded up coins skyrocket to a portfolio worth over 30 lakhs. Over 30 lakhs, generated entirely from the spare change you didn't even realize you had. That right there is the pure mathematical power of compounding time with consistency.
Which brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. Step 4. Automate your wealth.
Let's be real, relying on human willpower to manually calculate and transfer 5 rupees here and 28 rupees there every single day, that is a total recipe for failure. You're going to eventually forget or just get tired of doing the math. To make this protocol actually work, we have to put the whole shebang on complete autopilot. Now, if you were going to do this manually, here's your execution playbook. It's 3 simple, repeatable steps. Step 1, buy an item. Step 2, round up the price. Step 3, invest the change. But again, doing this by hand for 30 years is practically impossible. The absolute beauty of the modern financial system is that technology can execute these 3 steps for you in the background without you ever lifting a single finger.
And the data actually shows just how incredibly effective these automated systems are globally. According to our source material, users on Roundup apps save an average of $2.60 a day. Over a year, that creates almost $1,000 in savings, and they do this without changing their income or getting a new job. The technology completely removes the friction. It tracks your purchase, does the math, and routes the money directly to an investment portfolio before your brain even registers that the cash is gone.
So what are the tools? Well, the source material mentions some very specific, actionable ones you can look into right now, apps like Rise and Acorns. These platforms are literally built to link to your bank accounts, monitor your transactions, instantly calculate the roundups, and automatically invest that spare change right into diversified portfolios. They do the math and they do the investing for you. It is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it wealth-building machine.
Which brings us to our final takeaway, and honestly, a direct challenge to you. Will you start today and become a Crorepati by 55? We've walked through the math together. We've seen exactly how rounding up a 25 rupee chai to 30 can eventually snowball into over 30 lakhs. And we've looked at the tools that can automate the entire process for you. As a college student, time is hands down your absolute greatest asset when it comes to compound interest. You have decades ahead of you to let this spare change wealth protocol just run in the background of your life. So the question isn't whether or not this works. The math absolutely proves it does. The only real question is, will you take 5 minutes today to set it up? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope this changes how you look at every transaction from here on out.